What is the one thing all small business owners want to know? Why is it that what I'm doing isn't working? You see, when you build systems the right way, they work with each other. That's what Founders Fire is all about. We have helped thousands of business owners just like you from the situation you're in to get you real results in real time with the system that we've built that's going to change how your business runs. We're going to help you figure out exactly where you are on that roadmap, and we're going to give you a systematic approach over the next 12 months to fully organize, systemize, and align your business with your vision. This is about you, this is about your calling, and this is about right now. More free time, more impact, changing people's lives. That's what Founders Fire is about, to help you find the freedom and to make the difference that you have it in yourself to make.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Bulletproof Your Business on this beautiful Tuesday in March. Eric, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, my man. I am good. I get fired up every time I see that video. I'm like, counting down and like, I'm ready to go here. Come on.
I love it. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, thank you for everybody for being here today. I know everybody's so busy, so I won't waste anybody's time. Let's get right into it.
Okay. Well, we're here to help you bulletproof your business. And what that means is really just making sure that as you get shot at, you're okay. You know, back when I was in the Army, people used to say this phrase, move out and draw fire. So let me ask you, is the goal not to get shot at? It's not. It's not. If you're moving towards something valuable, you're going to take some heat. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. We're trying to reclaim ground here. We're trying to redeem. We're trying to get to that field of the weeds and all the muck and everything, and find the pearl of great price. You guys know that scripture? You know, you buy that whole field so that you can get the pearl of great price. Well, the pearl is small and the field is big. And that's our workout, guys. So bulletproofing our business is not about skipping the workout. It's about seeing that the effort and the energy and all the things that we got to go through, that is what produces the strength. On the other side of our workout is more strength. I love the phrase, power is guarded by problems. Instead of cursing our problems or bemoaning our problems, which I've done, I know we've all done that. Really what we should do is embrace those problems. It would be like the person walking into the gym and cursing the treadmill, which I've also done, right? But it's just, no, don't curse it. Just stand on it and hit start and start working on it. So bulletproofing our business is about that. It's about bringing us to a place of greater freedom, greater strength, greater clarity, and frankly, greater capacity to do what it is that we're called to do. So today, with that in mind, and getting our workout on here, I want to talk about reinventing our business. Some of you guys have been in business for quite a while. Some of you guys may be earlier in business, and some of you may not be in business yet. You may be thinking, you know, I might do this. I might want to do this. And my old mentor back in the day here at eMyth, this dates me, but Michael's signed this to Eric 2001. It was a while ago. It was a while ago. You know, in that amazing book, it talks about the entrepreneurial seizure. So if you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it. I won't go through all the details right now, but ultimately it's just about Sarah, who is the pie baker. She's working in a bakery, and she has this moment where she realizes, I could do this better on my own. I'm not going to get to where I need to be, stuck inside this business. Doggone it, I'm going to start my own business. And Michael calls that the entrepreneurial seizure. You know, I call that the Holy Spirit invading your heart and letting you know what your truly authorized work is. What is it that you're really supposed to be doing? And so if you've had that moment and you've launched out into your business, awesome. If you are having that moment, I'd like to fan the flames of that and really say, really consider that. Really consider if that's the thing you should do. And if it is the thing that you should do, we certainly want to help you do it, because it's way easier than doing what I did. I literally started my business, joined the military, and was trying to raise 2 kids all at the same time. All at the same time. Quit my job, join the military. Like, don't do it the way I did it. Not only did I jump out of the airplane with no parachute, I think I jumped out of the airplane with no parachute, blindfolded and handcuffed like Houdini, and you got to figure it out before you hit the ground. And you might probably, you're thinking, well, yeah, and I bet you did figure it out, man. You just made this perfect landing. Heck no, I didn't. I went through absolute financial ruin, total chaos, smacked the ground, bounced a few times, and then had to start the process of like, okay, what do we do now? And really, it doesn't have to be that hard. Now, some of you are already in business are like, well, I've got my business going, but maybe I've hit a barrier, and I've got to do something different. So whether you're launching your business or you're at that place where you're stuck in a way, it's really the same process. Reinventing your business is about one question. And that single question is this: what is your true asset? Now, for those of you who are already in business, I want you to think about your customers. And I'm going to give you an example. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we'll start our story like that. There was a client of ours, and he ran a landscaping company. Okay. And in this landscaping company, he had a feast famine revenue model. And so I can't see you guys out there, but I would ask you to raise your hand. How many people have a feast and famine revenue model where you get a new client and the money goes up and then they're done and the money goes down? Or maybe it's seasonal. And like this client, in the summer months, there was a ton of work, but in the winter, it went way down. In fact, for him, it was so bad that in the winter, he had to take out a line of credit just to pay to keep things going, but he had to let go of most of his staff. So automatically you've got turnover problems. You've got all kinds of issues related to that. You try to staff back up, maybe in March or February before it gets warm enough to start doing stuff again. It's a really stressful model. I think that he actually had to work through June just to pay down that line of credit. And so he only had a couple of profitable months in a year. And you're saying to yourself, man, I had a job, and it was working for the man, but it's kind of like the story of the Israelites. Then they get out in the wilderness after they've escaped from Egypt, and they start thinking, you know what? At least I had 3 squares and a place to sleep, back in Egypt. Maybe we should go back there. Some of you have probably thought about that. Some of you probably thought maybe we should just go back, just get a JOB again. Some of you are at the place where you're like, heck no, I'm not getting a JOB. I got to get out of a JOB. Either way, the question is, what is your workout? What is it that you've got to be focused on? And I'll tell you the answer to that is value aligned with your calling. So if your calling is, let's say, to fix things, that's what you do. You just find things that are broken and you fix them. That's what you do. We got to make sure that you're in a business model that puts you in the best position to be doing that. Because if you're trapped with admin and numbers and payroll and all that stuff, you're not in your sweet spot. You're out of alignment. So if I use this analogy, the football player, big old football player, let's say he's 300 pounds and he can run a 4-second 40 and he can do 1 million push-ups, all this great stuff, right? What would happen to that guy's strength if you dislocated both of his knees and all the joints in his hand? Ow! Ow! As someone who's had a few joints dislocated before, that is no bueno, right? What happens when you have a dislocated joint, especially like a knee, which I have had before? I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter how strong your thighs are. It doesn't matter how fast you can run. It is nullified. Many of you have tried to grow over time by getting stronger. But I want to challenge you to consider growing by getting in better alignment. Okay, if you've ever had your back go out, okay, oh my gosh, I have this slip disc. How does that feel? It feels terrible. Does it matter how strong you are? It does not. It does not. You can squat 500 pounds and run a 5-minute mile. Irrelevant. Irrelevant. Why? Alignment. So really, the key is always about staying in alignment. staying in our lane, staying focused on what we have to be focused on. And a lot of times we chase opportunities that are really not in alignment with where we're going. So when we reinvent a business, it's usually because we've gotten out of alignment. If I'm in a job that I hate, I'm out of alignment. So it's the same thing, no matter where you're at. And it comes back to, what is it that you're called to do? And how can we put you into the vehicle that best takes you to that destination? Okay. If you think about it like, hey, you're going to Atlanta. Let's say you're in Nashville, Tennessee, and you want to go to Atlanta, right? As soon as you know where you are and where you want to go, it becomes, and how soon you want to get there, it becomes clear what kind of vehicle to get in. If I'm in Nashville and I need to get to Atlanta sometime today, then I got to be in some kind of car, truck, vehicle kind of thing like that. If I need to be there in a few hours, that car, truck option is not going to work. I got to be in an airplane, right? If I need to be there in a few weeks, I have different options, right? But the vehicle choice is based off me knowing where I'm going and how soon I want to get there. That's a question of the business. A business is a vehicle for the full expression of your calling. And that calling has got to be in alignment with who you're serving. So back to this landscaping example, we got this guy. He's got a lot of money in the summer. Well, not that much money. He's got a decent amount of money, let's say in August and September. And then the whole rest of the year is chaos. So how are we going to reinvent his business? And he says to me, Eric, my cash flow is killing me. And I said, well, let's look at our true asset. What is the one thing that your business does or has that is its true value, its true asset? And he said, I don't know. We've got like lawnmowers and our team and, all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but let's focus on the customer. Focus on the customer. Okay. Well, people like us to make their homes look beautiful. I'm like, all right, we're getting there. Let's keep going. What kind of people? Well, in this particular case, it was people with, this is back in the day, but $1 million homes. I know it doesn't mean the same thing it did 20 years ago, but let's say $5 million homes or $10 million homes, right? People trust us to be on their property. So I said, okay, let's just stop right there. What you're saying is that very, very wealthy people are entrusting you to be in that very intimate place, to be in and around their home. Often when they're not there, they trust you. That is your true asset in this business. What could you do with that asset to bring a greater return on investment from that asset? They trust you. They have beautiful high-end homes. What could you do? And of course, now everybody does this, but back then no one did this. And we came up with the idea of Christmas tree lights. Now, in this area of the country, there wasn't like a lot of snow removal, but there could have been. But they wanted to do the Christmas displays. And so they started looking at, this whole thing and the Santa display and the nativity display and the Hanukkah and the this and the that and the, the Santa pool and Frosty the Snowman and all the whole thing. Right. And so they went to 2 or 3 of their customers and they said, hey, how do you feel about putting up Christmas lights every year? And they're like, that's a total headache. We hate it. What if we did that for you? Oh, really? What would that be like? Put together a little bit of a business plan, put together a little bit of a pricing sheet and started to do that. And guess what? Come November, 3 or 4 of his top customers were like, we want you to do this for us. Well, all it took, and this is like elaborate, like I'm not just talking about a few strands, but it was like a pretty big deal, right? Timers, got all the electrical and everything. But pretty soon, let's say within a week or two, the other folks in those neighborhoods started going, dang, look at that. Look at what the Joneses have. Who did that? And all of a sudden, a whole new thing was there. That's the power of reinvention. If you start with your true asset, if you start with what you don't have, if you start with fear, if you start with lack, if you start with all that anxiety, you're probably not going to get anywhere. But if you start with what is the true asset and how can I leverage that to create even more value? Well, I'll tell you the end of the story here. After he got this rolling, we were talking later in that spring. He said, Eric, I actually made more money from November to January than we made in all of last year. He was able to pay off that line of credit. He was able to keep his team on for longer. So he had a more consistent staff. His business was reinvented. Now, was it, he was making tires and now all of a sudden he's building computers? No, and it typically doesn't go on that way because we're starting not with an opportunity. We're starting with a relationship. ultimately, for all of us in business, our most important, most essential asset is the quality of the relationships that we've formed. Now the question is, what can I do to provide greater value in those relationships? If you need to reinvent your business, if you're stuck a little bit, this is the place to go. If you're just launching a business, you're thinking about launching a business, this first service or product out the door needs to be thought through in just this exact way. And ultimately, it needs to be taking you where you're going. It needs to be in alignment with what's in your heart. It says in Proverbs 20, verse 5, the purposes of the human heart are like deep water, but a man of understanding draws them out. We want to draw that out. That is what the Founders for Our Coaching program is all about. Drawing out those purposes, making sure that the vehicle that is transporting those purposes to a brighter, better future is in alignment. It's serving you, and it's giving you more freedom and more income and more impact than you've ever had before. So hopefully this was inspiring for you guys today, and will help you kind of make those decisions about how to move forward and a way to do it. That's going to give you something that hopefully is like, hey, I remember when I heard about that idea, and now I look back on it and see the fruit that it is born. So that's what we got for today, guys, and appreciate you coming. I'll welcome Adam back on.
And Eric, it's awesome. I was actually just talking about that very thing with somebody right before this call. And my point to him was, you need to have the confidence to take the step, to be willing to try the new thing. It's scary a little bit and it seems unfamiliar, but that's when those opportunities open up, I believe.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you all for watching. Eric, thank you for sharing that. It's wonderful. Make sure, guys, you're sharing this with your network and your relationships that you've so eloquently cultivated, because I believe this will provide value to a lot of people. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity that we have to meet you and to learn from you guys as well. So make sure you're commenting your thoughts and sharing this with your people. We appreciate you. Eric, thank you again.
Yeah.
God bless. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And let's watch that video again. I love it so much. Here we go.
What is the one thing all small business owners want to know? Why is it that what I'm doing isn't working? You see, when you build systems the right way, they work with each other. That's what Founders Fire is all about. We have helped thousands of business owners just like you from the situation you're in to get you real results in real time with a system that we've built that's going to change how your business runs. We're going to help you figure out exactly where you are on that roadmap, and we're going to give you a systematic approach over the next 12 months to fully organize, systemize, and align your business with your vision. This is about you, this is about your calling, and this is about right now. More free time, more impact, changing people's lives. That's what Founders Fire is about, to help you find the freedom and to make the difference that you have it in yourself to make.